If you have ever been judged before someone even knew your story, then stay with me, because what happened at my rehearsal dinner changed my life forever. The night before my wedding, my future mother-in-law slid a legal document across the table in front of 60 guests, smiled like she had already won, and called me a gold digger who brought nothing to her family. Everyone watched as I picked up the pen, convinced I would either sign or embarrass myself. What none of them knew was that I had brought my own folder, and before that dinner ended, the people judging me would discover they had been completely wrong. My name is Brooke Carter, and I built a successful landscaping and snow removal company from a single used truck. 12 years later, I owned dozens of trucks, employed nearly 100 people, and managed contracts across several counties. Even with all that success, I still drove my old pickup and wore old work clothes because I had learned a painful lesson. The moment people discovered I had money, they stopped seeing me as a person. My grandmother taught me that real worth came from honest work, not appearances. Before she passed away, she left me only one thing: her worn leather work gloves. I carried them everywhere because they reminded me that everything I owned had been earned, never inherited. I met Daniel Prescott during a snowstorm outside a high school where my company cleared the parking lots. He was a history teacher helping shovel sidewalks before his students arrived. We spent 20 minutes talking about books and life, and not once did he ask how much money I made. It was the first time in years I felt appreciated for who I was instead of what I owned. Later, I discovered he belonged to one of the oldest families in town. I believed it would not matter because he seemed nothing like them, but his family quickly proved me wrong. His mother, Eleanor, judged me the moment we met, while his sister Claire questioned my background, my family, and my business as if she were investigating a suspect. They assumed I was a struggling landscaper with an old truck, and I never corrected them. After Daniel proposed, Eleanor took control of our wedding and treated every decision as if it belonged to her. Daniel kept asking me to stay patient because that was how he had survived his family for years. I wanted him to defend me, but he always chose peace instead. Everything changed when I accidentally walked into Eleanor's private study. Expensive paintings were gone, leaving faded outlines on the walls, while bills stamped past due sat beside auction papers. In that moment, I realized the Prescott family was not protecting a fortune, they were protecting the illusion that one still existed. Suddenly, every insult made sense. They believed I wanted the money, while never imagining I had built far more than they ever possessed. Quietly, I hired an attorney and prepared my own financial disclosure, along with a fair prenuptial agreement protecting my company. Days later, Daniel handed me the agreement his family wanted me to sign. It demanded that everything I owned become part of the Prescott family trust. When I asked if he understood what it meant, he simply said it was only paper and begged me to sign it to keep the peace. That hurt more than anything his family had ever done, because the man I loved was asking me to sacrifice everything I had built just to make his mother comfortable. The rehearsal dinner unfolded exactly as I expected. Eleanor stood before 60 guests, spoke about family honor, pushed the document toward me, and loudly called me a gold digger who brought nothing to the family. The room fell silent as everyone waited for me to surrender. Instead of signing, I calmly began reading the agreement out loud. Every unfair clause echoed across the room until the guests realized exactly what Eleanor was asking me to give away. Then I closed their folder, placed my pen on the table, and opened my own. I explained that every fair agreement required both people to reveal their financial situation honestly. One page at a time, I revealed my company, its valuation, my properties, and my investments. The room changed instantly as faces filled with disbelief when they realized the woman they had dismissed as poor was actually the wealthiest person sitting at the table. Daniel's father stared at the papers because he understood before anyone else that my business was worth more than everything their family still owned. I could have exposed their unpaid debts and destroyed their reputation, but I chose something far more powerful. I simply stood up, looked at Daniel, and said I would never marry into a family that measured my worth by money or a last name. If he wanted to marry me, we could do it at the courthouse with nothing exchanged except our promises. Otherwise, this was where our story ended. For several long seconds, nobody moved. Then Daniel finally did what I had waited 2 years to see. He walked away from his family's side, took my hand, and chose me instead of their expectations.
few days later, we married in a small courthouse ceremony with 2 of my employees as witnesses. His father quietly apologized. His mother never came, and for the first time, I realized I did not need her approval to feel complete. Today, my grandmother's old leather work gloves hang framed in my office where the morning sunlight reached them first. Every time I look at them, I remember the greatest lesson she ever taught me. Your worth is never decided by a famous family, an expensive last name, or the opinion of people who never took the time to know you. It is built with your own hands, protected by your own courage, and no one has the right to tell you that you bring nothing to the table when you build the table yourself.